I did not vote for Obama. I actually voted for John McCain, simply because to me Obama didn't represent the experience that right now is necessary within the White House. But that's back in Washington. I'm talking about now here in Europe. I think that there are oftentimes unrealistic expectations for what Obama will be able to do. Right now we're stuck with two issues, Iraq and Afghanistan. And until we're able to withdraw substantial numbers of troops from Iraq, we won't really be able to make the types of changes necessary in Afghanistan.
And I think John's right on one of those issues. I mean, I voted for Obama. And I think that's for two reasons. I mean, mostly for domestic reasons for me. In terms of foreign policy, it's true. Whoever would have been elected in November, it would have been a stronger opportunity to solidify transatlantic relations and for a stronger partnership. I mean, McCain was an Atlanticist. He was making the trip every year to the Verkunda conference in Munich. It was clear, I think, that in terms of foreign policy, both Obama and McCain were going to be a very positive signal to Europe. The biggest issue we're all facing now in the Atlantic community is, will Russia come on board with the Euro-Atlantic community, and how can the new leadership in Washington help promote, I think, more cohesion within Europe, and that includes Russia, in my opinion. Right now, I think there's a very strong amount of division in Europe regarding its relationship with Russia, particularly on issues like energy and also NATO expansion, the South Caucasus.
I believe that right now, coming out of this election, the perception within Europe is that transatlantic relations under an Obama administration will certainly be better than they were under the Bush administration. Now, as for reality, I think that we will have the opportunity to evaluate whether that's the case after the Strasbourg summit, after a year, maybe 2 years of working with the Obama administration. Given that there are so many crises going on at one time, it would be unrealistic to expect major changes within the transatlantic alliance.
With the results of the elections, it's clear that Obama has a great deal of political capital, and he's going to reach out to Europeans with that capital in mind and ask them for some action on certain issues. Clearly, the completion of Europe and NATO expansion is one of them. It's unclear as to whether that's going to be his first priority, however. He's outlined his priorities, and I think the top among them, for instance, is energy security and energy independence for the United States. I think that's one issue where we can certainly see eye to eye and we need to move forward. On NATO expansion and some more complex issues, for instance, what to do about Ukraine and Georgia, a membership action plan for NATO or not, I don't think we're going to see many results in the first year. I don't think that we're going to see a signal at the Strasbourg summit that is as positive as some might like. I think that it's very important that NATO be not only an alliance in terms of security interests, but it's also a political institution that has really helped Europe complete itself. A lot of countries joined NATO first and then became members of the European Union. And that I think has changed. I don't think we're any longer going to be able to look toward countries and say, yes, NATO is the first step, European Union the second step, especially for countries like Serbia or Bosnia, Herzegovina. I think that we're going to have to be a little more optimistic about the ability of the European Union as a facilitator of democratization.